I admit this freely, but at one point this was a sore subject, but I don't know any music theory. So how could I possibly be a film composer? Talking about a little something called imposter syndrome. Yep. So when people ask me how I became a film composer, this is what I tell them essentially. I just gave it a go. I just started. And I was in over my head most of the time. And sometimes I even still feel like I kind of am. My thought on film composers is I think of people like John Williams, Danny Elfman, Hans, first name basis only, of course, Hildur. First name basis only because, honest to God, I don't know how to say her last name. Ludwig, you know, the people that are killing it right now. Take two. So naturally, this leaves me in some kind of self-assessed purgatory because clearly there's a gap there. You've got me, and then you've got John Williams. So my question is, or maybe what I'm trying to say is, does it even matter? Reverb for days. Yeah, I can't tell you what key a song is in. I can't tell you what a key signature is. I can barely even figure out time signatures. And basically, my opportunity to learn music theory was thwarted by my own ability in middle school while I was first chair trumpet. For most of it, not all of it, but I cheated my way through that. And looking back on it, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I'm gonna go with I don't know. But yeah, either way, that's where I'm at. So because I don't know music theory, I thought, hey, maybe I could learn music theory and you could watch me and learn with me. And I'm not very good at the piano. Spoiler alert. Well, maybe I'll use your, encouragement or your viewership to learn these new things and we could do it together. The idea was to start it and not be like a professional's professional. Like I'm just another guy giving it a go. And I just thought maybe you could come along on the ride with me. And I've got some good ideas, I think. We'll see. You're doing good. So when I decided to become a film composer, I had no idea what I was doing. But I had some friends that were really killing the game with some licensing stuff. I thought to myself, hey, I could totally do that. How hard could it be? It's not easy. Nah. At this point, I had just given up a nearly 10-year career of being a touring artist. I was in and out of the studio all the time, making records, touring for this band, touring for that band. And I think I developed a false sense of confidence because I literally thought, hey, now I can just make music for film. Vastly underestimating how difficult this actually would be. Yeah. How many times can you say vast, my guy? Turtleneck, what's up? So how did I break through and become as Christian Henson would call it, a media composer? The truth is, I got mega lucky. Here's what happened. That can be a little misleading. The truth is, I was doing the work. I was writing as much as I could. I was really cutting my teeth and trying to figure out how to develop as a film composer. I started friendship with a guy from a production company, and he figured out that I wrote music and that I wanted to be a film composer, or was a film composer. I'm not real sure what he believed, but it got me a job. He eventually brought me on to do a feature, which would eventually never get made, but it led to a job, and that's where I spent the next year and a half writing so much music, it's almost nauseating. Totally got fired from that job. Sometimes getting fired is a good thing. Let's just put it that way. You gotta look good. I'd gone freelance after getting fired, and I was putting myself out there. I was at a film festival party at one point, and I saw a guy that made a film in that festival, and I was like, yo, he makes great work. I chase him down, literally chase him down, and I meet him. After just a few months of working with this guy on and off, they were developing a feature-length documentary about the legendary basketball coach, Eddie Sutton. They then hired me to do all the music. I was not ready for this job. It was enormous. It was a huge undertaking. Not only did I do the music, but I did literally everything else. I did the dialogue edit, I did the mix, all the sound design. It was bonkers how much work there was to be done. Fast forward about a year and a half, and finally this thing is done, and it ends up airing on ESPN and ABC. I could have never imagined that something like that would happen to me, and relatively quickly, and I get that that's kind of a rarity, but nonetheless, this is why I kind of consider it the beginning of my career, because that's a big deal, at least to someone like me. Yeah.
Should probably mention that I do production sound too. This is one of my clients, actually. This is who I've done a lot of work with, the Thunder, and most recently the University of Oklahoma, among others.
Naturally, this first feature was an enormous learning experience, and if I could go back and do things differently, I guarantee you I would. But the most important aspect in all of this is that I f***ing did it. And there's an immense satisfaction in just like doing the thing. Like this YouTube video. This YouTube thing became an idea because my buddy Spencer Sakurai was just like, you should make YouTube videos. And I was like, no. And then he was like, no, seriously, you should give it a go. And I thought to myself, what do I have to offer? What do I have to talk about? The reality is like, I'm a part of a YouTube university just as much as you might be. So why not see if I could make something of it and have some fun? The point is, this platform has given me so much. And this idea of giving back is largely in part due to Christian Henson from Spitfire Audio and Paul and really the whole team, but also Piano Book. What they've done is essentially given me a free education. Back in the day when Spitfire still had a blog, I devoured that. So once they started their own channel and started, releasing YouTube videos, that's pretty much how I learned everything I know. Because they paved a way for people like me, I felt like maybe if I have a little something to offer, I could give back. And there are so many other influences that have made me feel like this is something that I want to give a go. Who knows if I'll be any good at this or if anyone will watch these videos, but if that's the only reason why I was doing this, then I'm not sure it'd be a good reason to do it at all. But my hope is to join a community of makers, online composers, musicians, and producers, and add to it. Maybe give something back to it because it's given me so much. This is my first video. I'm so thankful that you stuck around to watch. Hopefully you enjoy the content that's to come. I have no idea of the type of frequency you could expect out of me, and I'm going to do my best to come up with some new, unique ideas. Quite the monologue I wasn't planning, but I thought maybe if I'm launching YouTube, you ought to know who and what I do, and if you have any questions, feel free to hit me in the comment section. One last thing before I go. I gotta shout out my buddy Spencer Sakurai for encouraging me to do this. Links to his YouTube channel below. Shout out to Easton Oliver for being one of the best dudes ever and helping me try to make this channel come to life. Shout out to Charlie Muller for just being a bro and helping me out with some of this cool gear and whatnot so I can make this stuff look good. So maybe I didn't lie about being a film composer, and yeah, I get that it's clickbaity, but hey, what are you gonna do? It's YouTube. So hit like, click, subscribe, all that stuff. I've never said that in my life until now. Take care. That wasn't the best. Have a great, no. See you next time.